last
The
year.
red light's not on yet.
Huh? Oh, we're good. Yeah.
Heard it ding.
Yeah, 2009, we were using Red Ball, and we decided to go to Surefire with no experience. I mean, kind of walk me through the process of what, some of the things you saw early on compared to where we are today.
Tom, why'd you make a change?
I'd say I probably changed because of the fact that this equipment was supposed to be basically so much more user-friendly than what the Red Ball was. The user-friendly we had, or the Red Ball units, we had to use orifice plates. Consequently, we had a lot of problems with plugging up. This equipment was positioned that it would be a low-pressure system without all the obstructions in it, and so that's what we were looking for, is something that we could not have to spend a lot of downtime cleaning, and that's why we went with this system.
I was excited about the flow monitor control because it was tied to GPS. I mean, the other system was speed and pressure, and I just, was accurate as long as you're doing the right speed and the right pressure. But this one eliminated that little component.
Well, most growers are using GPS with their planters anyway, or with other liquid applicators, and so this just tied right into that whole all-inclusive application system.
Well, I think here in my area, though, there wasn't very much GPS. So this was really a step into that program for me. I mean, it was the idea that guys could actually control the volume based on how fast they were going. And it's not flat ground. It's up and down. It's sideways. So.
Well, for me, the biggest issue was that we were having trouble with the Black Label zinc as far as monitoring it through the Red Balls.
Right.
And that was the biggest complaint I heard, and the biggest reason why we had a lot of non-users.
Right. The fact that it's black, you couldn't see the balls, and so it was pointless to have a Red Ball monitor on there.
Yeah.
So with a system like this, it doesn't need it. It
alleviated that issue.
Exactly.
I actually had a customer that didn't believe that was actually putting out what the monitor said, and we actually unhooked from the flow meter, ran 5 gallon through the meter into a bucket, and it was that far from the top of the bucket. He was right on.
Was there any other calibration? Did you have to calibrate other than in the cab where you started the program out at the beginning of the year?
Just your width.
That's it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. And it has some, calibration numbers you put in. But
I think the only drawback that I saw to the system, being new to this system as a whole, was the fact that we were going back to microtubes, and getting the right size microtube for the flows that we were working with was the only real challenge.
For a little back pressure you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, we wanted a little back pressure to equalize between one side of the planter and the other was all that it did. It was totally accurate.
But once we got past that small hurdle, it worked fine. It was fantastic.
and the microtube through Surefire is so durable. I mean, the other stuff used to kink, and you could wrap this up neat. And yeah, I was very happy with that.
Yep.
Well, all I can say is through my travels the last couple months is that the equipment's been received very, very exceptionally as far as the performance. And then, when I was in Maine last week, the grower up there was telling his neighbors that you need to get this system on. Because up in that market, then they're not only putting out fertilizer, they're putting out insecticide and fungicide.
Yeah.
So they have a combination mix which gets a little bit more viscosity's up, and it's a little bit more.
I had a grower that on his system was set up, instead of infra, it was 2x2 or 3 over, and he was putting a lot of fertilizer and potash and Black Label all in the combination, and so you can't always keep everything clean from a nitrogen source. So he was plugging up this main filter right here once a great while, but his monitor control on the cab would pick up any pressure drop, and then boom, all he did was come back, clean that filter. He was happy camper. He's going. So Tom, you had some trouble with screens. What was your thoughts there?
We had some problems with screens, but we were running some 100 mesh screens in some of our units.
From the old idea.
From the old idea, yes. And we just had problems with that pressure always sliming up those screens.
Right.
So once we went to an 80 mesh or a 50 mesh screen or this low pressure system, we eliminated that problem almost 100%.
100 mesh is super.
Yeah.
I think the other lesson we kind of learned in terms of making blends of a number of fertilizers is don't blend them up 2-3 months ahead of time. You know, blend them up so the guy's got 30 days worth of use. If he's going to plant more than 30 days or something, just deliver some later. You know, so I think that would eliminate some of the concerns about, you know, things happening in the tank.
One of the other things as far as the blends go that I think was a real big help to us was the fact that we consistently use some water in all these mixes. We don't just use straight ingredients, and that has been a big help. One of the other things I wanted to say about the equipment, and more so about the support that we got for the equipment, I would generally help install the equipment, try to get the initial setup going, but then allow the grower to work directly with the folks out at Surefire as far as any kind of tweaking that had to go on. And up to every person that I have a system on with, they were very happy with the response that they got from those folks out there. Sunday mornings, late Saturday nights, it didn't matter when they called, somebody would answer their questions, and if it took an hour to work them through it, they did. I mean, that was the thing that really impressed me, was the fact that we had support.
I think, well, at the time we had problems with the microtubes having the right size, but once we got that issue fixed, installation's pretty much a breeze. If you have questions, they're there. They're going to get back to you. There's always somebody there. And
I know when I hooked up a system myself, I hooked it up and it was my very first one, so I called them up, said, okay, walk me through it, and boom, walked me through the whole process, and it was totally accurate. It was done. I gave the grower the number. He had some questions later on. He called them up direct. He oh yeah, man, they really help. You know, so it's not a situation where they had to go through the sales rep to get to this.
And once you get one installed, they're a breeze. I mean, for a salesman going around installing these equipment, once one's done, I mean, I'm doing different boom widths on different 16-row planters, and 4 and 8 rows. I mean, it's nice. I mean,
For Shelby's benefit, why don't we tell your name and...
Yeah, I'm Gene Gangwish, work for CPS, and I work in the Mid-Atlantic area with dealers and resellers in that market.
I'm Tom Griffey. I work for CPS in the Virginia and Maryland market.
I'm Eric Edcombe. I work for Actigrow. We're the manufacturers of Black Label Zinc and Blackjack Manganese and Zinc.
Mike Walton. I work for CPS out of Holtwood, mainly in Chester County.
Doing more?
I don't know. That's how we do.